Dan Illman, Mike Beer getting set for Grade 1 action at Churchill Downs on Kentucky Oaks Friday. It's the La Troienne for some classy fillies and mares going a mile and a 16th. Before we get to that, remember to head on over to DRF.com for your Kentucky Derby handicapping material, Derby packages, past performances, betting strategies, clocker reports, your one-stop Derby shop at DRF.com. Here's the field for the Grade 1 La Troienne. Classy horses abound. She Dares the Devil. She's familiar with Churchill Downs. She won the Kentucky Oaks here last year. She's 8-5. And it's nice to see Dunbar Road back for another year. The Millionaire is very talented.
Yeah, she is very talented. Didn't get much of a campaign in last year as a 4-year-old, Dan. She was a really good 3-year-old. We'll see what happens this year. Listen, She Dares the Devil. I guess she's the horse to beat. That Kentucky Oaks win kind of came out of nowhere last year, but it feels like she's confirmed it in her 2 start since.
And looking at the time form US pace projector, the number 2, She Dares the Devil, expected to be a strong forward factor in this race. Mike, do you think the one Envoûtante can get a little bit closer? I know she walked the dog on the lead in the Fall City at Churchill Downs 2 starts back. I don't know if she's going to be 5th early here, though.
Yeah, I don't know about that either. Certainly, when you take this race apart, it's hard to envision her being that far back, but we'll see how fast they go. If nothing else, she's a very tactical kind of horse. You can go forward with her, but she's perfectly fine sitting off the pace.
That's a very good point. She showed that she could rally in the Remington Park Oaks, then received a really nice ride from Brian Hernandez in wiring them in the Fall City. Might have been a little bit short in the Azeri. Let's watch that race. She Dares the Devil won the Azeri. Envoûtante finished 4th when close to the pace. She Dares the Devil on top, turning into the stretch. You see Envoûtante in between horses, and on the outside, we'll talk about flattering the form. Here comes Latruska. Now, Latruska is just going to fail to get by She Dares the Devil, but she returned to defeat the mighty Monomoy Girl in the Grade 1 Apple Blossom with a 102 buyer. So She Dares the Devil ran really well off the layoff.
Yeah, this is a very strong race. She Dares the Devil ran very well. I agree with you. Maybe Envoûtante, maybe she just needed one off the bench there, Dan. She got overall a very good trip in the race. She took her shot at it at the top of the stretch, and she was no match for the 1-2 finishers. All in all, I didn't think she ran poorly at all, and she could certainly take a step forward. But you are dealing with a horse whose best race, that Fall City before the layoff, I mean, just had all the best of it in there. They ran that race like a turf race, a slow early pace, and they sprinted home.
Dunbar Road, the number 3, was a Grade 1 winner as a 3-year-old. She won the prestigious Alabama at a 1.25 miles, and she returned off a lengthy layoff at Churchill Downs last year to win her seasonal debut. Let's go back to the Breeders' Cup Distaff, where she ran 3rd, and she ran quite well in a very tough group led home by Monomoy Girl. This race has already produced 4 next out winners, and Dunbar Road, as usual, makes a strong late bid.
Yeah, nothing wrong with this performance. Just had way too much to do in this race. She's going to make up some late ground without really threatening, and she'll just get up for 3rd. This was an okay performance overall. More than anything else, Dan, her 4-year-old campaign just kind of felt like it never got off the ground. The first 2 starts that were both wins, just against completely overmatched fields. And she just absolutely dominated them. I don't know why she didn't run for 3 months after the Delaware handicap, but for whatever reason, she missed time, and it felt like maybe she needed that. The Beldame was a little disappointed. She just got a little tired at the end of that race for some reason.
Bajan Girl, the number 4, might be able to show a little bit of pace in this race. She went gate to wire against optional claiming foes 3 starts back at Gulfstream West. 3rd last time out in the Royal Delta. She pushed a sharp pace in that race.
Yeah, she did. That was a pretty competitive pace, and a big long shot came up the inside and won the race. I'm a fan of this filly. I actually feel like she's a little bit underrated, and she does have a figure or two that's going to put her pretty close if she can get the right trip. It was hard for me to talk myself into her being able to beat all these horses, Dan, but I won't be surprised if she runs well.
She finished ahead of a filly that came back to run 2nd in the top flight with an 88 buyer in that Royal Delta. Here's Paris Lights, winner of the Coaching Club American Oaks, is a 3-year-old last year. Unfortunately, got hurt after that race and missed the remainder of the campaign. Well, she came back at 7/8 of a mile in this race, the Distaff handicap. So she had to deal with a layoff, and she had to deal with a distance that was a bit short for her. And all in all, she ran really well and really gamely to get up and win.
Yeah, she's going to prevail at the end here. Yeah, you're right. Coming back off the layoff, you felt like maybe this was just a jumping off point. They were going to sprint her to get a race under and then stretch her out. As it turns out, she had enough speed to keep up with that runner up there on the lead, and she's going to get the job done at the end. It's not the kind of performance that's going to blow you away, But it was certainly a race that you feel like even if she lost, you'd be like, that's fine. She probably needed the race. So just the fact that she won is probably a feather in her cap. I didn't love her as a 3-year-old, Dan, but I recognize that she could get a lot better in a hurry.
Senena Say, Group 1 winner in her native Chile. Maybe she'll show a little bit of speed in here. She was the winner of the La Cañada from Stalking Range 2 starts back. Last time out, they tried to sprint her against Kamari, Mike. I think the 7's just a little short for her. That race might be a nice bridge to this one, but it is a big step up in class.
Yeah, it does feel like she's just facing a much tougher field here. She's going to be a good price in the race. I think you're right in that she has enough speed to get forward in here. So maybe she falls into a really good trip. I wonder if it would be good enough.
Finite loves Churchill Downs. She is 3 for 3 over this surface with 2 graded stakes victories. Let's go back to the Bayacoa, her seasonal debut at Oaklawn Park. She caught a sloppy track, and they were very aggressive with her out of the gate. They made the lead with her. The pace wasn't very fast, but she can't step with Monomoy Girl, who runs right by her. Monomoy Girl, of course, just missed in the Apple Blossom with a 102 buyer. All in all, Mike, I thought it was a fine race for Finite off of the layoff. I know you're not as big a fan of this filly as I am, but on her best day, she can get a piece of this.
She certainly could get a piece of it. We'll see what kind of race she runs. I don't know how much I love her, going longer distances, Dan. I always felt like maybe she'd be better on a cutback. We'll see. I don't want to knock her too hard. It doesn't feel like she's going to take a ton of money in here. I just don't think she's that good.
Let's take a look at our top picks for the Grade 1 La Troienne Stakes. Dunbar Road, Mike, runs very well fresh. A mile and a 16th actually might be a little sharp for her, but I think there's a chance that this pace is a little faster than what Timeform US projects. She'll be running late for Chad.
And that's exactly how I looked at it, Dan. I did feel like there was a chance this race might set up pretty well for her. And I'm not so sure, and I don't want to knock She Dares the Devil, who's obviously very good and could get better. I'm not so sure Dunbar Road may not be the most talented horse in the race. And I feel like if she gets a setup, she could win here. Her 4-year-old campaign last year, I just don't feel like she really got one. I hope she has a better one this year.
She Dares the Devil just seemed to find herself in the fall with that win in the Kentucky Oaks over Swiss Skydiver, over Gamine. Thought she ran well in the Spinster against older horses, and we saw her run well against Latruska last time. I just think another good effort's coming from her. 2-1-3-7 for me, 3-2-1-4 for Mike. It is the Grade 1 La Troienne on Kentucky Oaks Friday. Best of luck.